Today we're doing something really exciting. We're looking inside the mind of someone famous for sports, but honestly, he was a total master of psychology and self-improvement. We're going to decode the fascinating and frankly brilliant mindset of Kobe Bryant.
Welcome to English Through Ideas, where we learn English through powerful ideas. I am so excited to guide you through this explainer today, because the lessons we're about to explore, they can absolutely change the way you look at your own goals, your daily challenges, and, well, your entire life. So let's dive right into this.
Here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, the power of curiosity. Number 2, how to handle failure. Number 3, the alter ego technique. And finally, number 4, overcoming pain and obstacles. All right, let's jump straight into the first concept.
Section 1, the power of curiosity. When we think of elite performers, we usually just picture intense physical practice, right? But what made Kobe Bryant so different was actually his mind. He was intensely, almost obsessively curious about everything around him. He lived by this amazing quote, "The world becomes your library." Basically, when you have a crystal clear goal, whether that's learning English, getting a big promotion, or becoming a top athlete, literally everything you consume can help you improve. You stop just passively watching things, and you start actively looking for lessons everywhere.
To become better at his sport, he didn't just watch other basketball players. No way. He actually studied storytelling in high school to better understand human emotions so he could become a stronger leader. He observed completely different industries too. He watched musical conductors and film actors just to see how they got into character. He even learned directly from nature. These are incredibly surprising ways to learn for sure, but they gave him a massive, unique edge. So I want to ask you, how can you look outside of your normal world today to gain an advantage in your own goals?
Okay, moving on to Section 2, how to handle failure.
Look, everyone fails, but masters process failure very, very differently. I want to tell you a story about a massive, terrible public embarrassment and how a truly strong mind overcomes it logically. Think about the number 5. When Kobe was just an 18-year-old rookie in his very first professional season, he played in a crucial playoff game. On national television, in front of literally millions of people, he shot the ball and missed completely. And not just once. He shot exactly 5 air balls, which means the ball didn't even touch the rim. It was so humiliating, and honestly, it cost his team the entire season. Most people would be completely crushed by this kind of embarrassment.
But how did he respond? Well, he used this unemotional, highly rational 3-step process. Step 1, get over yourself. He realized that feeling embarrassed just means you think you're really important. Guess what? You aren't that important. Just get over yourself. Step 2, ask why it happened. He looked at the problem super logically. His shots were straight, but they were short. Why? Well, because his legs were just completely exhausted from a long 82-game season, which leads to Step 3, change your training to fix it. He realized he simply needed a different weight training program for his legs. That was it. Done. Problem solved. When you fail, the trick is to remove your ego, find the logical reason, and just build a system to fix it.
That brings us to Section 3, the alter ego technique.
When you're performing under high pressure, your normal human emotions, things like fear, anxiety, or doubt, they can really stop you from succeeding. To solve this, Kobe used a very specific psychological tool. Let's define this clearly so we're on the same page. An alter ego is a secondary or alternate personality that you create specifically to handle difficult situations. It's kind of like an actor getting ready for a big movie role. And the best part? Anyone can do this. If you're super nervous about a public speech or a huge exam, you can literally create a mental character who is perfectly confident and just step into that character when you need to perform.
Look at the huge contrast here. The everyday person was extremely curious, loved storytelling, and was deeply focused on his family. But when it was time to compete, he stepped into what he called the cage. This alter ego was completely void of all emotion. It had this stone-cold killer focus. In fact, to completely block out distractions before big games, he would actually put on his headphones and listen to the scary theme song from the Halloween horror movies. The one featuring Michael Myers. Why on earth would he do that? Because that character's mask showed absolutely zero emotion. It was a brilliant way to separate his personal feelings from his professional execution.
Finally, Section 4, overcoming pain and obstacles.
So how exactly does a highly structured mind deal with extreme physical pain, or a life obstacle that just seems totally impossible to beat? Well, late in his career, he suffered an Achilles tendon tear. In the sports world, this is often called the kiss of death. It is a devastating, terrifying injury that ends a lot of careers. He literally had to walk off the court wondering if surgery would even work, if he actually wanted to go through the incredibly long recovery, or if he should just throw in the towel and give up right then and there.
And that brings us to this direct question. How do you tolerate that kind of pain? Seriously, how do you keep pushing forward when your body or your mind is just screaming at you to stop? The answer he found is one of the absolute most powerful mental tricks you will ever learn.
He explained it using this incredibly simple, relatable metaphor. Imagine for a second you pull a muscle in your leg. It hurts terribly. The doctor tells you to sit on the couch and just rest. You can barely even walk. But suddenly, a fire breaks out in your house and your family is trapped upstairs. What happens to your leg? You completely forget the pain, right? You just sprint up the stairs to save them. The pain doesn't stop you at all because the lives of your family are infinitely more important than the injury. It's that simple. When your why is big enough, your brain completely forgets the obstacles.
So whether you're learning a new language, building your career, or just fighting through a really tough time, you have to find a purpose that makes the obstacles completely disappear. Ask yourself today, if your house was on fire, what is the why that would make you run through the flames? Thank you for learning with English through ideas. If you enjoyed this explainer, please subscribe for more ideas, more English, and more growth.